All right, let's talk about Russell Wilson of the now New York Football Giants. Of course, Wilson was someone who, was a great player for the Seahawks. There was a narrative for a while of how has this guy never received an MVP vote because he's been maybe there was maybe a 5-year stretch where he was the best quarterback in football. But then he goes to Denver, was horrible in the Nathaniel Hackett year, was actually all right in the Sean Payton year, and was all right again last year with the Steelers. And let's talk about what he did well and what he will bring to the Giants. So first, the play you see on your screen. So, I showed everything on the screen, but honestly, I didn't really have to because the play itself, it isn't going to work. Watch as Wilson's going to take the snap. He looks, and no matter which direction he would be looking, there's nothing open. And this is something Wilson still has the ability to do, even at this point in his career, being in his mid-60s. That would be something. Mid-30s. Watch as he's going to scramble around, gets, forward, and picks up some yards. Again, it's nothing crazy, and it's not what you're hoping for on that play, certainly. It was also third down, so they ultimately did not get the first down, but that was the correct play there. There was nothing else open. He got outside the pocket and got the yards available, and that's just kind of something that you can trust. He's not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to lose you a football game. Okay, obviously everyone has turnovers, but you get what I'm saying. Not going to do that frequently. There's a play like this as well, where what's going to happen here is it's going to be a designed rollout towards the bottom of the screen. You have several receivers running routes that are going to go in that direction. Wilson's going to take the snap. He does run the designed rollout, and as of right here, okay, could he make that throw? Again, you could, and this is to me not necessarily a positive or negative. This is simply a strategic decision, and people will do different things. I think that you would see some quarterbacks take this chance. That's not what Wilson is going to do. He decides to, again, trust his legs here, and he picks up some yards. It doesn't go for the first down, but it was only on second down, so that was more okay, and you're able to at least gain some yards, make it a more manageable third down situation. Again, that's kind of what he is capable of doing and just what he just likes to do. But ultimately, heading over here, what I like about Wilson a lot is, and I think this will really help the Giants, is he can put the ball in the right spot. Because for a team like the Giants, who have been bad for a bit and haven't had great quarterback play, what they kind of need is to just sort of see the situation that they have. And having a quarterback who can make the most out of his situation for the most part, unless it's Nathaniel Hackett as the head coach, he can do things like this to help out the entire unit of offense, not just him playing well. Where this is going to be a zone coverage play. You see the concepts on the screen. Wilson takes a snap. He looks over the middle, which is kind of what makes sense. Really, that route is what you would typically want to throw to. But honestly, on this play, Baltimore has this pretty well covered. They're not giving up too much. Baltimore's a good defense, kind of what they do. So for Wilson, he, again, could try to take a chance and fire this one, but decides not to right here. Instead, simply just goes to the check down. And again, these types of plays are, hey, let's just run the offense. Whatever's working, let's get the ball to the right player's hands. And, the people that are game managers often get, that has become a derogatory term. But being a good game manager, there's a lot of value in it. And having someone like Wilson who can do this stuff, I think people forget that when Wilson was at his best in Seattle, it was because of this. It was because he was running the offense at such a high level. Yes, he had his scrambles. Yes, he had his throwing down the field stuff, but he was great at this stuff. Also heading over here, so what's going to happen on this play is, I think it's fair to say, what do we know about Russell Wilson, though? And really, what was such a storyline last year was the deep ball, where this play, it's designed to have a one-on-one matchup down the field. The Ravens are going to drop a safety, so there's only going to be one that stays deep. And watch, when Wilson takes a snap, the issue is that if you're Baltimore, you kind of know a deep shot could be coming. You see the corner doing what he can to fight through this deep shot, but watch this throw from Wilson. Look, he's just going to put this one right on the money, and you can't help but see these plays and think him and Malik Neighbors could get along really well, right? Neighbors is someone who can win down the field, did a really good job last year, even in a tough circumstance. So getting someone like Wilson who can get the ball in his area, this can help you really see what you have in Neighbors. You have a good player, but how good can he be? Well, Wilson can help unlock that. Like this one's another one, and it's actually an interesting one too. Because again, people talk about the jump ball and how he can, put a lot of air under it and have a guy come down and catch it. We saw that a lot last year, specifically with George Pickens, and those are good. But he can also do stuff like this, where so this is quarters coverage, and you would think a deep shot against quarters coverage would almost never work, right? There's essentially two defenders in the area. How could this potentially work? Well, when Wilson takes the snap, you're going to kind of see right here. So both of those defenders essentially are almost wondering if the other guy is covering the receiver who's running down the field. This happens on these types of plays, and it's the quarterback's job to take advantage. And you see Wilson, he's ready to try and take advantage. Going to take a great throw, though, and it is dangerous. I mean, if you throw this one a little bit too short, it could get picked off. However, Wilson does in fact make not just a good throw, but a perfect throw yet again. Again, these deep shots that he can take are great. So not only does he put the ball in the right spot pretty consistently, but he's also able to bomb it down the field still with still very well. So ultimately, what are they getting with Russell Wilson? I think they're getting an effective quarterback. Now, he isn't the playmaker he once was, that's fair to say. And he, maybe doesn't quite hit on as many plays as he used to when he was in Seattle. But I think part of it too is, he had really good receivers in Seattle. Didn't quite have that in, really the past couple of situations he was in. Wasn't great in Denver. In Pittsburgh, he did have George Pickens. Didn't have a lot else. Now, again, I'm not sure if I'm saying the Giants' receiving core is elite, but they do have guys. Obviously, the highlight is Malik Neighbors, and we'll see if they add anyone in the draft. But ultimately, I do think he is an effective enough player, and I do think you are getting a good quarterback. And one thing I like about this as well is it's a 1-year deal. If he stinks, you can move on. If he plays well, he's 36. It's not crazy. You could get another couple years after this. I mean, most quarterbacks, usually the wall you get is 38. So, you're not going to get 5 years of Wilson, but you might get 3 years of Wilson if this works out, and maybe it's just a 1 year and you do okay, and then you kind of build back to being decent again, and again, start to establish more of a winning culture, which is, quite frankly, what they need right now, because they just don't have it. So there are benefits to a move like this, and that's why I'm not I kind of was back and forth on this, but ultimately I think I like it, especially because I think it's probably better to do this, use your 3rd overall draft pick to help you long-term with a different position. Again, yes, there isn't the super highest upside just because of the age thing with this move, but ultimately, I think they're getting a pretty good player, and if you can get a pretty good player at the quarterback position for a reasonable deal, it's very rare for me to criticize something like that. So ultimately, I think it's a pretty smart move here by the New York Giants. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all of this. Hey, look at me, praising the Giants here. But yeah, I think it makes sense. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching to the end of that video. I do appreciate it. If you want to see my other channel, Jackson Kruger Movies, where I talk about movies, give some film reviews and stuff like that of a different kind, if that seems like your kind of thing, the link is in the description below for that, as is the link for my Twitter account. I'm at Jackson Kruger, so give me a follow on there if that's your kind of thing. And also, of course, remember to hit the subscribe button on this channel. I do always appreciate it, and thanks again for watching to the end of the video.